So last week we talked about, sorry, on Tuesday, we talked about functions and, oh, okay. Maybe I shouldn't have shared the slide now. But remember I said print is one of the functions we have in Python. We have a lot of them, a whole lot of them. And the one we used last week was print, which is used to output results to the user. And another one that I think I only gave like two examples or something was the input function. If you go over the video, you see where I said it is used to collect input or accept input from the user. Print is going to give the user whatever you ask it to output. But what if you need to get an input from the user? So that's when you use the input function. Let's quickly do let me quickly share that and so that we can just see how it works. Okay, I think so. I'll continue working from the working directory I created in the last class, Summer Python class 2. So from there, I'll continue inside my main.py file. So let's keep this. Then another statement. So one thing to take note of is I expected that someone would have asked why we have to put, whenever we're writing new commands, why it has to be in new line. So like I said, this print is one statement. We consider it as a statement in Python. This is like one full command, nothing else. Then the next set of command the next command we want to give should be below it. So more like a line for one. This is not absolute, but then just take it as a line and one command on one line, like that. So here now we have two commands, like two statements here. The first print statement and the second print statement. These are like two different commands that we are giving to Python. So that's why we have them on two separate lines. So now I'm adding another command, and in this case, I'm using what we call, so disregards, I'll be doing something now, which I will explain later on. So I'm saying inputs. I'm using the input function now. And inside that input function, okay, so I said something in the last class. How do you recognize a function in Python? Anybody wants to remind me? How do you recognize a function in Python? Or what characterizes a function in Python? You can unmute your mic if you want to talk, please.
A function, from what I can recall, is something that is already built into Python to perform a certain calculation or a certain to perform.
I think the definition was that it's a repeatable, a reusable piece of code that is used to perform a specific task.
That's right.
Yeah. So, but I said I mentioned I went on to give some characteristics of a function in Python. How you recognize that, okay, this is a function. I said after the keyword, in this case, we have the input as the keyword. The name of the function is input. It is always followed by open and close parentheses.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Bracket. And it is inside those brackets that you put the input to those functions. That is the message to the function. What you want the function to work on. It is inside those parentheses that you put it. So in this case now, the input function takes many arguments. Okay, argument is another thing as message or inputs to our function. We either call it message, argument, even parameter. We call them parameters also. Please take note of the name so I can use them interchangeably during my explanation. Arguments, parameters, message, input into your function, they are all the same thing. So in this case, I'll be passing this input function takes many parameters, takes many messages, many things that you can pass. And if you hover your mouse over the keyword, you see the documentation. So which explains even what the function does and different messages you can pass into the function. So it says read a string from standard input. The trailing new line is, you can disregard all that. And so, but one thing is, I said this asks for an input from the user, right? So one of the things you pass, one message that you pass inside it is a prompt or a label that will explain what you're expecting from the user. In this case, I want to ask for the username, for the user's name. And I'll say, enter your name. Can you mute your mic? Okay, thank you. So I'm saying inside inputs, I'm passing a label or a prompt, something that will tell the user what I'm expecting from them. And the message is enter your name. So if I save this and I run it, you see, we have the division above, everything got printed. And the next in the console, if you're looking at the console or the terminal now, you see it says enter your name, which is the prompt I gave. So the code is not done running, because if the code is done running, you should see another something like this path again showing like this, your path, what's it called, your working directory path. You should see them showing. But now the code is not done running, which means it is expecting something for it to be done running. And that thing is from the prompt that I put, it's saying enter your name. That means it is expecting me to enter my name. And once I click in that console and I write Gideon and I press enter, the code will be done running, because that's the end. As of this moment, I'm not doing anything with the name that I'm getting. I only asked for the name. So, but I did one thing here, which is whatever I'm asking from the user, I'm saving it into something we call variable in Python. Just like what real life example can I give? Okay, let me use the woman figure now. A label that was given to me from birth, a label, I'll be something to identify me with. Something that kind of stores my characteristics, my character, my personalities, my name, which is Gideon. Gideon is no, Gideon, don't let me go into philosophy or whatever, but you can just, Gideon is the label, is something that like a label to my personality. So same thing that we are doing here. Same thing applies to what we call variable in programming generally. Variable is just like you're giving label to something, to a value, something to reference that value. So now, whatever I'm getting from this user now, I am saving it into a label, into a variable called my name. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later on in this class. But just to tell you what the meaning of all this, what you have in the left-hand side with the equal sign, and the equal sign that we have here is what is actually doing the assign. It's called an assignment operator. It's called an assignment operator. So it is this equal sign that is saying whatever you have on the right side there, store it into this variable, into this label. And now if I let me run this again and now say print my name. I said my name is now the label that is saving whatever the user enters, right? Now I want to print down my name. Whatever is saved inside my name, I want to print it out. And if I should run this, let me enter a different name now. Let me enter Cowboy. And if I press enter, you see that it will be printed. You see, I enter Cowboy and Cowboy got printed. This line, line 5 is what gave this output, this Cowboy. So which is just printing what I've entered as an input that has been stored in my underscore name in this variable here. It is getting printed. It is getting printed after entering it as an input. So that is one other function that is very important in Python. So for the assignment that I'll be giving you for this week, you use it with print. So I won't tell you how you're going to, but then you know how it works now. So when you see the question, you will know what to use. So let's go back to the slide. And also, yeah, one other thing, if you're looking at my slide, let me share. if you're looking at my slide, you realize I have some notes in my slide. So, and can someone tell me the importance of the essence of I believe we've all prepared slides before, right? So can someone tell me the essence of notes in slide? Like anybody? Should I
I
call
think,
name? Okay.
yeah, the notes and slides are there to help us go through them and also to practice, you know. That's what I think.
Okay. So the essence of notes, just like the name implies, is to at least for presentation, when you are presenting, the essence of notes is to guide you on the main presentation. It is not the main, I mean, like now, I'm not even, I didn't have like a better, I mean, like double screen here now. You're not supposed to be seeing the notes because the note is just there for me. It's not the main presentation. The note is for my own personal use, something that should guide me on how to present my main presentation, which are what we have on the slide. So same way when you are programming, you can add notes. Python allows us to add notes into our code, inside our code.
Okay.
And when you add that note, those notes are not the main commands. Python does not recognize them as any commands or anything. It just takes them as, it identifies them as notes. So it doesn't run them. It doesn't even bother about them per se. It just ignores them. And when you put notes in your code, they are there to also probably add more explanation to, sometimes you forget what you write, you forget logic. I wrote some codes like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. If I should go back to those code base and should try to correct some things now, if I had not added some notes to those code, it would be hard for me to even understand what I had done. It happens to the best of us, even like the people that are in Google, Facebook, they're developers. It happens to them also. If you write a code 2 years ago and you try to, I mean, go over it again after like 2 years or after some time, I mean, there's a high chance that you would have forgotten what you wrote. So we had notes to our code to help us understand them later on in the future, or to even for any, let's say you're writing a code now and you expected that, okay, maybe someone else will be managing that code in the future. You had code, I mean, you had notes, or what we call them comments. The right word for them in programming is comments. You put comments in your code so that when anybody else that is, that is going to be managing the code base will understand what you've done in certain, what's it called? How you've implemented some certain things, and now we understand your thought process while you are writing that code. So the way Python allows us to do that in 3 ways. Python allows us to add notes in our code in 3 ways. So you can add it as a, oh, sorry, I wanted to share. Okay. All right. Okay. So Python allows us to add comments in 3 ways. The first one is a single line comment. That is, if the note you want to pass in your code, if you only want it to be in a line in your code editor, say the code below or the command, the statement, let me just say the statement below outputs whatever name the user enters. This is not a command to Python. It is just like like a description of what the next line of code of what it does. So I mean, Python is not meant to interpret. You see, it's already underlined. That means, I mean, it's not a valid this thing in Python. But for Python to take it as a comment or as a note, since this is only occupying a line, the way you do that is to in the beginning of that, where your comment starts, you put a hash symbol. I don't know if, I mean, I think hash is what they call it in London. Sorry, in the US too.
Yeah, the pound sign.
Yeah, the pound sign. Yeah, okay. So you put this hash sign to denote for Python to recognize it as a comment, as a single
Symbol.
line comment.
Okay.
But if the comment is meant to like, maybe is meant to be more than a line, let's say you want to make it multi-comment, you can, keep putting hash in the beginning like that. You can keep putting hash and keep writing it. But when you have just this, when you have this, what am I saying? Oh yeah. So this is how you do multi-line. If you want it to be multi-line, you just keep putting the hash symbol there. That is like the second way. The first one is a single line comment and multi-line comment, which is very close to how you do single line comments. You just put hash in everything. Like for instance, now, if I don't want this to run, the first two print statements, if I don't want them to run or show as part of the output when I run the script, I can comment them out. And I'll just put the hash symbol there in the beginning. And now Python will not run them. It will take them as comments.
Okay.
So let me save this and let's run this again. I've run the script now, you see. The print 12 divided by 2 is not getting printed again. The 6.0 and 1, they are not getting printed. Straight to enter your name. Straight to this command, enter your name. And if I should enter the name, let me enter Ellen this time around. And if I press enter, it gets printed. You see, all these, the statement below outputs, whatever name the user enters, they are not being printed out. They are not showing. So that is how you pass notes or comments in Python. Everything you put here, everything you commented will not be, the Python interpreter is not going to interpret them. Like it's not going to work on them. It will take them as a note that is not necessary for even the, that is not necessary for the product you're trying to develop in a way. So that is that. And another way, if you want to do, there's another way Python also, you do comments in Python. And, I said there are 3 ways Python allows us to comment. So the third one is what we call doc string. Doc string. This has some properties to it, but just take it as another way of writing comments. There's more to it, but which we'll explain later on in our program. But this is another way you write your comments. And the way you do that is to enclose whatever, it is used to do multi-line comments. It's like another way you can do multi-line comments. So, and the way you do that is you enclose those comments or the notes you want to put, you enclose them in 3 quotes. It could be 3 quotes, just like I did there, you see. In the beginning, I have 3 quotes here. And at the end of where the comment ends, you also put another 3 quotes. Let me put it that way. Just like this. The statement below outputs whatever name the user enters. Let me remove this D. And in these lines, put in 3 quotes. And this line put in 3 quotes. The Python interpreter ignores just. So now let me put another, let me say print thanks for entering your name. Yeah. So if I run this now, this says enter your name. Let me enter Kofi. If I press enter, you see the next line was thanks for entering your name and Kofi. This line is not getting output again. So those are like the 3 ways you can pass comments in Python. If you want to do multi-line comment, is either you use this 3 quotes approach, or you put the hash symbol in the beginning of each line. And when you do that, Python interpreter would take them as comments, and it will not run anything on them. It will not show as part of your output or anything. And with this, you can write anything. But I mean, to follow the best practices is best you only write it when you think is necessary. When you are writing a logic that you think is complex and the next person may not understand what it does. So that's when you put it there so that it can help later on in the future. So that is that about comments. Back to our slide, there's another data type. We talked about the numeric data type last class. So there's another data type. You can see my slide, right?
Yeah.
Can you confirm? Okay, all right. So there's another data type in Python called the string data type, which is basically how Python recognizes things non-numeric. Let's just take it that way. Text. So I put it that it's a Python data type for text and characters. Anything that is non-numeric. The way you understand this is, see, when you want to give something to Python to handle, you want to give a value to Python to work on or anything. If you expect it to, let's say, in that code, you know within yourself that the value you want to pass, maybe you want to, there are numbers, and you want to do arithmetic operation, things that we identify these operators. You want to perform it on those values. You already know it's a number, right? So you pass them as Python expects you to, pass a number to it, which means you don't have to put it in any, what was it called? Just pass it as a number, the way we did last week. But with this one, with this string, anything you are not going to, you're not going to be doing any numerical operation on a character or strings of characters, or if you want to pass a text to Python generally, they are all considered as string data types. And the way you pass them is to enclose them in a single or double quotes. I will demonstrate that, but as you can see here, this hello is a text and it is enclosed in quote, a single quote. That is how Python identifies or Python recognizes this string data type. Anything non-numeric, you can, take it like that. Anything non-numeric, the way you put it to Python is to put them in quotes. And that is why, and also another thing to take note is, of course, whenever you are passing them, don't forget to put them in quotes, in either single or double quotes. And also, operators, the addition and the plus operator works on them. Let me make that clear. When we talk about numbers and numbers in Python, we said these are the operations you can perform on numbers, or that Python allows to be done on numbers on numbers. So same way in string, there are operators you can do. There are things you can, operations you can perform with strings. But contrary to, real life, how it works in the real life, you can do multiplication. Let me call it that way. You can do multiplication, though it is not multiplication, but you can do what we call multiplication in mathematics. You can also do it with the string data types. But the output is different from what you will expect. Of course, A times A is not going to give you a number, right? Yeah. So, but I'll demonstrate how that works, and you can also do additional. You can do additional operation on two strings, which I'll show you how that works. But one thing you should also take note of here is this example that has been given here. Inside it, we have numbers, which also proves the point that I said anything you are giving to Python and you don't have an expectation of, say, you want to do a numerical operation on it or anything, give Python as like this one. I think you can call this an alphanumeric. It contains both an alphabet, both alphabets and numbers. And because we are not expected to, we are hoping we are not going to be doing any mathematical operation on it. So it is best that we pass it all together as a string. And if you need to do that in Python, just put everything in quotes and pass it as a string to Python. And let me just put this together so that before we go on to practice. And after, for every data type, there's something we call methods in programming, not just in Python. There's something we call methods, and it is very similar to function. Remember, we define function as a reusable piece of code that performs a specific task. Now look at the definition we are giving to method also. A repeatable, repeatable or reusable, you can call it repeatable and reusable, piece of code that completes a task, just like functions. But the difference is that this is for a specific data type. When we use print the other time, when we were using print, we could put a number, as part of the message we can put inside a print, we could use a number, right? And we could use a string. But with method only works with a specific data type. Let's go on to demonstrate so that you can understand better. But just don't forget the definitions. Okay, all right. So we talk about strings, right? We said the way you put them is you put them in quotes. You put them in quotes, you say, like if I'm saying name, you can, let me put it in a okay, let's put them in, let's try and print them out. And let me comment every other thing above. So let me say, name is going to be a string and I'm printing it out. And another thing is print a phone number. I want to put my like a phone number. This is a wrong phone number. I don't know. I'm just putting a phone number. But let's say we want to put a phone number. Since I don't expect a phone number to be, I don't expect any numerical operation to be done on a number. So it will make sense for me to pass it as a string. You all agree with me, right? So, I'm just trying to show you like different things you can pass as, that can pass as a string in Python. And even age, if you are not looking to do any numerical operation on age, let me create a variable called age. Like I'm creating a label and I name it age. So I want to say 34. And I want to say print I am so I'm doing another magic here. I am age years old. Let's run this. So you see, we have name, the number got printed, and this, which was similar to what I did the other time, I created this is the value here, 34 is the value, which I'm passing as a string, and I'm saving it, I'm referencing it or saving it into a variable called age. I'm labeling it as age. And when I'm now printing it, I am saying I am. So this is trying to I put this example just to show you that when you're using your print statement, it takes as many inputs as you want. You can pass as many messages as you want. And the way you separate those messages is by a comma. Hope I'm not confusing anybody. Before now, what we used to do, let me comment this. Before now, what we used to do is to just have a message, just have, a one string put in a quote, enclosed in a quote, in a, what's it called? In a quote, and just print it like this, just like we have I am here now. But now I am passing many strings. I'm passing many strings. I'm passing three messages now. Three messages actually into my print statement. So that means the print statement doesn't take just one message. You can pass as many things to it. And everything, when you do that, everything gets printed. Everything you put inside it gets printed in a line. You have it as one line in your output. Same way you have it where you are. That's why we have I am 34 years old. So every message you put inside it will all get printed in just one line. So that is that about print statement. Then another point another thing I said was that there are some operations you can do on that are allowed on strings, which is like you can do the multiplication operation on strings, and you can do the plus operation. But the way they work, the output is quite different from how it will be in when you are doing it with numbers. And to demonstrate that, let's go into Python shell. Yeah, so I am, let me clear, sorry. I'm coming. I want to tidy up my terminal. Okay. So now I am in my Python shell now. We said you can do the addition operation on two strings, or even more than two, or two or more strings. So we don't call it, when it has to do with strings, we don't call them addition. We call it concatenation. And what I'm saying is, my first name is Gideon. My second name is, my first name is Gideon. My last name is, it's a local name, Anyowoye. When we say we can do addition operation on two or more strings using the plus operator, if you put a plus operator here now, you see what the output is going to be. Let me press enter. You see, now we have the two together, the two strings together. Gideon, which is on the left, and Ayanwoye, which is on the right. Because I have the plus operator here, they got concatenated together to make a single string. So that is how the plus operator works on two or more strings. You can have, this is Gideon, and let's have another name. And even let me put a space between them and add my second name, which is Dele. And also here, I want to put a space between them. So I'll be adding an empty space. And see the way I'm passing the empty space also, I'm putting it in a quote as well. So an empty space is not an in Python, and a space is also a character. Please take note of that. A space is also a character in Python. Even though it may not be feasible to you, but Python takes it as a character, and that is why if you want to put space between, if you are putting space, or if you like the way I'm doing here now, since I want to put space between Gideon and Enwoyi as another character or as another string, I want to add it to them. That's why I have to put it in a quote as well. If I just put space between this the two plus here and open it to give the space, no, it won't do that. So I have to also put that space in quotes so that Python knows that, okay, add Gideon plus the space here plus Ayanwoye plus another space, then plus Dele, which is my second name. And after that, if I press enter, you see how it comes out. You see, everything comes out to make everything makes a string. So you can have multiple strings. You can concatenate them together using the plus operator. So which is what we mean by, what's it called? By what I mean, the bullet point on this slide that says you can use you can perform multiplication and plus on strings. So for the multiplication, which is asterisk, the way it works in Python is you cannot multiply two strings together. I mean, you cannot multiply two strings together. So one has to be a string and the other has to be a number. Like this. Let me demonstrate using this. Okay, I've been using double quote since. You can also use a single quote also works in Python. A single quote also works in Python. So we have Gideon and I have the asterisk sign, which is the multiplication sign. And I said it has to be between a number and a string. That is a numeric data type and a string, or an integer and a string. Let me put it that way, an integer and a string. So now I'm saying Gideon multiply by 3. So the way it works, if I press enter now, the way it works is it repeats the string in the number of integer that you put. So basically, you use the multiplication operation to repeat a string. You see, I only wrote Gideon once. We only have a string, the Gideon string, and when we multiply it by 3, we have a string of Gideon in 3, a string containing 3 Gideons. If that makes any questions so far, please. Hope I'm not talking to myself. Any question up to this stage?
Can you do the string with space too?
Sorry?
You see how you multiply by 3? Can you put space before multiplying by 3, or you can't do that?
Yeah, so if I want to do that, let me do it again. There are different ways I can include a space after the Gideon. In the string that I'm multiplying, I can put a space inside it. That is, n is the last character in Gideon. Then I added another space. I can do it that way, or I can, if I do it, let's run this first. You see, when I included space inside it, not like I'm not adding space as another string. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay. So and another thing is I can first of all do this. Let's see how this works. I can say Gideon plus, let me not add the string as, the space as part of Gideon now. Let me give it a separate, let me add it as a separate string. And after that, I'm multiplying it by 3. Let's see how the output works. Okay, you see the way it works here? Instead of, I thought it was going to first of all do the concatenation, that is, do the plus before doing the multiplication. But it does the multiplication before doing the plus. So the space got repeated 3 times, then got added to Gideon. And that's why you have Gideon plus 3 spaces. So this also points me to something. There's something we call, what was it called? Operator precedence. Yeah, operator precedence in programming. It's something you're familiar with in mathematics also, which is like how, if you have let's say you have an operator. Now I'm doing numbers now, like arithmetic operation now. Let's say you have 2 plus 3 multiplied by 4. In mathematics, there's something they call BODMAS, right? Which is the order in which the operators get executed. So that same BODMAS is applicable in Python also. You can read more on that. It's just like in order in which arithmetic operators are, the orders in which they are executed. So that the important thing to take note of here is multiplication gets executed before addition. The rule in mathematics is called BODMAS. That is, anything you have inside brackets get executed first, then division, then multiplication, then addition before subtraction. So subtraction gets executed last. So if you have, let's say you have 2 plus 3 multiplied by 4. The way Python solve it, or the way we even solve it in mathematics generally, is you first of all do 3 times 4. Why? Because this is the rule. And in that rule, multiplication gets executed before addition. So you are doing the multiplication for 3 times 4, which is 12. Then that 12 now, you add it to 2. You are doing the addition. Followed by addition, right? So whatever the output is here, you add it to what you have here, which is 2. So now I'm expecting that this should give us 14. 2 plus 3, yeah, let's run it. You see, we have 14. So same thing works with these, same, order of precedence in a way. Same thing works here in the sense that the multiplication is getting executed first before the concatenation, before the addition. And that is why you have, when you do this Gideon plus space multiplied by 3, you have Gideon with 3 spaces, because the space is being multiplied first before being added to Gideon. So that's just how the addition operator and the multiplication operator, that's how it works on strings. So now, one scenario is, let's say I want to, I'm saying, we're asking the user to enter a name, or, okay, I wanted to give us an assignment, but let me do something. I want to print out a rectangle. Something like this. Let me show us. I want to print out something like this. Okay, let's even do it. Let me make it this way. Yeah, I want to print out something like this, like a symbol like this. I want to print it out. So one way this thing, this operator of a thing, this multiplication and the last, one way it can come in handy is to say, instead of having, we have star coming in how many numbers? Sorry. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12. So the way to go about this is one way you can go about it is to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can do it in 3 places. The print statement, you can do it in 3 places. Let me comment this so that let me exit my console. And let me clear my screen. Yeah, cool. So if I print this now, if I run this, you see, we have the symbol coming out fine. But the essence of programming is to, make whatever seems, is to always, minimize the stress. So instead of me having to type out all these things, I could as well just put one asterisk and multiply it by 12. And if I run it now, it's going to give me the same thing. So that's one of the ways you can use it. And another thing, remember the other time I gave the example I gave the other time where I said I am, and I put age here also, and I did this. I said years old. When I did this, so instead of putting this as instead of passing 3 messages, instead of passing 3 messages into my print statement, I could replace this comma with a plus and just concatenate all the strings together. Remember, when you concatenate strings, they all make a single string. So we could as well just do this addition here. Let me uncomment this. Yeah, age. So this is the label that is holding 34. So you can just, this age is same thing as 34, because what is stored there, when you write age here now, it is what has been saved inside this age that will be printed. Yeah. So we have I am plus age plus years old. And let me comment this. If I run this, you see, we're going to have I am 34 years old. It is not well formatted. Let me also, okay, can someone tell me what we can do now to have space between them? Let me call name randomly. Or okay, anybody that wants to talk, sorry. What can we do to include space? You see how the outputs came out? There's no space between the 34, between the ham and 34 and years. So how can we put space there?
We can put like an empty space, meaning like bracket. So after the plus,
After the what?
after the I am.
Okay, we can do this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. It works also. And to also put a space there, we can also put it there.
Yes.
We can also put a space before years. It's going to work. So now we have I am 34 years old coming out fine. And if you don't want to do that, we can also just add another plus.
And then empty. Yep.
Put empty strings, right?
Yes.
Put empty this thing, then put plus. Now we can remove this. Now what we are doing now is we are saying I am plus space plus age plus space plus years old. So how many strings do we have here now? How many strings do we have here?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Any contrary opinion? Cowboy, sorry. Do you have a contrary opinion? Is it 5? Or is it more than 5? Is it less than 5?
Strings are those commas, right? Like the little commas, like the commas kind of. I'm seeing if those are the ones like 1, 2, 1.
The way you recognize a string is a string is always enclosed in quotes, either double quote or single quotes.
So when we count them, do we count them single or we count them in twos? Because I'm seeing they are one on the side and one on the other side. Do we count as a pair or as single? The strings. I don't know.
This is a single string.
That's a single string. Okay.
Yeah, this is a single string.
Okay.
The space here is also another string. Even the H is another string, because if you see what is stored in H, it is a string 34.
Okay.
So that's one string as well. With this, another string, then years old is also put in it's also enclosed in double quotes.
Okay.
So it is also one string. Now, this, and this. How many strings do we have altogether?
1, 2. Is it 5? I don't know. 5? 1, 1, 2.
Say it confidently.
5.
Yes.
5.
So we have 5 strings now. Anybody confused? Anybody that's not clear with this?
So even the plus where there's age there, we don't have those little commas, whatever. It just count as a string as it is, right? Because I'm seeing I am, that's 1. Then those 2 ways kind of like blank. There's nothing there, that's 2. Then I'm seeing a plus sign in age and plus, that's 3. Then the other 2 ones close by, that's 4. Then years old, that's another one, that's 5. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
So the way you recognize a string is a string that is a single string. One string is always enclosed in quotes. Enclosed in quotes in the sense that when you look to the left of when you look to the left, there's like an opening quote, then there's an ending quote.
Okay.
So here now, this is the opening quote for this I am string, and this is the ending. Right. This is where it ends.
That's right.
Yeah. You cannot consider this. See where I'm highlighting here now. This is not a string. This is not a string at all. Because the quote you have here, it is what completes the opening quotes here.
Okay. Because I was about to say 4, to be honest. Because I look at age, I didn't see anything there. Then I was like, why we don't have quotes on age? Then I think you say something about that, about the numbers or something.
Yeah, age is also a string.
Okay.
Yeah, but this age is something we call a variable in Python. In programming generally, it's called a variable, or you can also see it as a label.
Okay.
Like a label, something that is holding what's it called? Like a pointer. It is pointing to a value.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is pointing to a value. Just like your let's say your passport now. Your passport is pointing to, is like something is referencing you.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think that explains it. Okay. Your Python is just something that is just like a piece of paper that references you. Anybody that sees your passport knows that, okay, this is like something, the actual personality is you. The passport is just something to identify you. Same way we have this age here now.
Oh, okay.
The value itself is this 34.
Okay.
Which is coming as a string now. So we don't expect any arithmetic operator to be performed on it.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. So this age is like the variable, the label pointing. So it's also a string because the value it stores is a string. So it is also a string. And everything here we're concatenating everything together to make a string rather. So that's just how it works. Any question? Please don't ask any question. There's no stupid question. Anything, ask anything. Okay, so let me put a test forward to us, and I'll do that in console. Should I do it in console or not? Yeah, let me do it in console. What will be the outputs? Let me call out name. Since nobody reached out to Pastor Wilfred about me not calling out name, so I think you are all okay with it. So Richard, what will be the outputs? Are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, hello, I'm with you. Did you hear the question?
Yeah, what would be the output?
Yeah, I'm asking what's going to be the output? If I should press enter, what's going to be the output of this Python code of this statement?
That will be cat plus 3. Basic cat and 3.
Can you put it in the comments? Okay, I think let everybody put the output. What the output is going to be, you can put it in the comments. Please, let's put it in the comments. Let's put it in the comments. We have cat plus 3. Okay, please think it through properly. Think it through properly. What's going to be the output? What's going to be the output? What's going to be the output? Everybody should contribute. Everybody should contribute.
Oh, no.
Or if you think there's not going to be an output or anything, just, you're going to explain your reasons. I will call everybody. You're going to tell me why you think this is the answer and all. Cat plus 3. Okay, I think everybody has contributed. You all got it wrong. You all got it wrong. I said when you're doing concatenation on strings, or when doing addition, I won't call it addition, I'll call it concatenation when it has to do with string. It only works on 2 or more strings. You can only do concatenation or addition in a way on strings when it involves 2 or more strings. 2 or more strings. You cannot do concatenation on 1 string and a number. So this is going to give me an error. It's going to give me an error. It's going to give us an error. You see, type error says can only concatenate string. str is how Python, yeah, that's how, it's another thing for string. So not integer to strings. Please take note of that. Concatenation can only be done, which is the addition of 2 or more strings. Can only be done on strings. You can do concatenation of a string data type and a numeric data type.
Got you.
Is it clear to everybody?
Same goes for multiplication. If the 3 is not in quotation or in a string.
That's the next question I'll be giving you.
I figured that would be error as well.
If I put, okay.
Oh, okay. That would be cat.
Calm down. If you have water with you, sip some water. What's going to be the output? So put the answer in the comment.
Okay, I like this. This is interesting.
Everybody put the answer in the comment.
This
Don't be shy, please.
is
Don't be shy. Put it forward. Let me know if you truly understand. If you don't understand, I want to make sure everybody, before the end of this program, everybody will be very good with Python. Everybody will be good with Python. Nadia, I haven't seen your response. Oh, you're the first to. No, I haven't seen your response. Nadia, what's your response? Okay.
Cat
3.
3.
Somebody is wrong. Somebody is wrong. And I don't want to tell you why you are wrong. Okay, maybe I haven't
I
mentioned
know
it.
why it's wrong.
Okay, hold on. Don't
Is
say yes.
that Richard?
Yes, that's Richard.
Okay, is it Richard that said he knew why the response is
No,
wrong?
it's me. It's me that said I know why Richard is wrong.
Oh, okay.
No, I thought you were doing multiplication.
Yes.
But now that I see it, it's like a cat, and then there's no space there, so it's cat 3. It should
Okay.
be.
So,
Is it?
Richard, the reason why I said you're wrong is my C is lowercase.
And
Your
yours
C is
is
uppercase.
capital. Yeah, that is wrong.
So that should also I should also make this point. Python is very case sensitive.
Character sensitive, yes, very case sensitive. Yeah.
Yeah, Python is very case sensitive. CAT, this lowercase cat is different from C when C in uppercase. I'm coming. So let me just run this. So you all got this right, except for the uppercase messed up. You see, so the response is cat with no space 3. Is it clear?
Crystal.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
But
So
your answer is like those little whatever, but ours doesn't have that. Is that still correct? Because I'm looking at the answer, right? It has those little at the top. Ours is just like cat 3. So does that make any difference, or it doesn't matter?
sorry, I don't get your question.
No, when you look at your answer, right?
Okay.
Yeah, it has those little quotations at the top, only one on each side. Mine doesn't have that, but does that really matter, or it doesn't matter?
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
All right.
So the reason why you have quotes, the reason why you have quotes in the output is because we are doing this in the Python shell.
Okay.
Because we have it in Python shell. Let me do the same thing. Let me put it as a script. If I do print, and it's even because we are not printing now. It's because we are not printing actually. Let me also do it in, sorry. Let's still maintain the Python shell. But in this case, I want to put everything inside a print. So if I say cat plus 3, you see, there won't the output, there won't be any quotes in the output. So you see?
Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's just because we are not putting it in a command. We are just, we are giving it raw to the console.
Okay.
We are giving it raw to Python, so that's why. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I wanted to explain something. I said that Python is very case sensitive. Very, very case sensitive. In the sense that Gideon is not the same thing as Gideon. Neither is it the same thing as. When there's any variation in the way you write Gideon, they are all different things. So Python is very, very case sensitive. Let's take note of that. And yeah, so we also mentioned, we talk about methods. Let me share my slide again in case we have forgotten. Yeah, so we talk about methods, which I said they were a repeatable piece of code that complete a task, but for a specific data type. They are very similar to functions. They have the same property as function, but they I mean, they work differently. They what am I saying? They only work on a specific data type. You know, when we are using, let's go back to demonstration. When I was when you're using, I said print is a function, right? So when you want to print, you can pass an integer into a string into print, and it's going to work. You can print a string data type, and it's going to work. But with methods are always tied. They are always attached to a specific, they only work on specific data types. So for instance, there are methods that only work with string data types. There are methods that only work with string data types, and we have a whole lot of them. We have like so many of them. I can teach you everything. I can teach you everything. But as part of our assignments, from the assignment that I'll be giving us, I'll upload the assignment on Google Classroom immediately after this class, so you can check it out. You'll be required to make more research to check on the many methods you can use with strings. So, but one of them, let me show some of them. One of them is we have methods called the lower. We have lower method, and what that does, of course, methods are meant to do specific tasks, right? The only difference between them and a function is that they are attached to a specific data type. And the way you call a method is somehow always kind of different. Most of the time, if you want to call a method, we said it is always attached to a data type, right? So you use the dot notation. You use the dot notation. There's a method called lower method, which works on string data types. And what it does is it converts your string to lowercase. That is what it does. Just like function, methods also has, I mean, after the keyword, in this case, lower, you also have an open and close brackets, which denotes that it is a method, just like your function. And the way you apply them is most of the time after you've specified the what's it called? After you specify the value of, the value, after you specify the value, you use the dot notation to apply that method to it. In this case, what I'm doing is I'm saying apply lower method to Gideon. And I mean, this is not really going to do anything because Gideon is already in lowercase. But if I do it, you see, we have Gideon in lowercase. But let me have Gideon in uppercase all through and apply the lower method. You see, the output is Gideon in lowercase. Or let's even have Gideon in mixed case. Gideon lower. If you still do lower, everything is still going to come out in lowercase all through. Sorry, please. I think I may have to end the class now. I so much, I mean, I will have to apologize. Oh, okay. Unexpected indentation. So when you're writing your command, you don't just put space anyhow. So the reason why you have the error is because you I mean, your commands are not starting from the very leftmost part of your screen. Are you getting that?
Yes, but you see how you had two screens? One was showing the output and stuff. How can I get to that screen?
Yeah, once you get your command, right? Once you get your
Mm-hmm.
code, right, and you click on play, the console is going to pop up itself.
So go to code.
I'm coming. Let me minimize my screen. This interface is kind of different. You're using Mac?
No. That's no, that's Windows.
Windows. Oh, okay. Wait, what are you doing? You're using the Jupyter Notebook.
You are confusing me. I just used what we download last.
You're using the Jupyter Notebook. That's different. This is what we'll be using for data analysis using Python. The file you have created is not a Python file. It's not a standard. It's not the standard Python file. You see the extension. You have IPYNB instead of .py.
Okay. All right. All right. So
Did you get that?
yes.
Okay, yeah.
But
So
I don't
now,
know. Go ahead. Okay.
okay,
Go ahead.
yeah. So create a standard Python file, like the one that ends with .py, and I think you have every other option there after that. You can copy this command. You can copy all this code and paste in your new. Yeah. Just do Control C to copy.
Okay.
Yeah. Control C. And not generate. Can you maximize the the application?
Hold on. Okay, it's better.
Yeah, better now. So you can click on the Visual Studio Code icon.
Okay.
Nothing showed up.
No.
Okay, this interface is kind of different. Then you can click on or
You,
how do you
you want
access
me?
the menu? How do you access the
Okay.
menu?
You want me to close it, reassess it? Close it.
Yeah, if that works, you can do that.
All right. So I have it on my computer right here. So I'll just open it from here.
Yeah, Visual Studio Code. Okay, so did you create any working directory?
Yes, the one I created, that it keep changing. Yes, but let me see. This one. Oh,
Where's the apricot? How did you-
okay.
Yeah, you can name it summer Python class, anything.
Okay, so it's that PY, right?
The folder is hold on.
Just
The folder is like a room
okay.
where you put tangibles, where you put the file itself. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
this is just I mean, you just name the folder like you name every other thing. It is the file
Okay.
itself,
Can I help
the
you?
file that you have
Okay.
to do
Can I help you?
.py. Yeah. So remove the dots there also. Yeah.
Okay.
Create the folder first before you select. Just click out. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, then select folder.
It's money. It's funny.
Yeah, you see, you are now inside that folder from the file explorer. Yes, I
So
trust, always trust. Yeah, then you can create a file now.
here, go to the file.
I don't want to I don't want to tell you.
Okay.
That means you
New
have to fall back
file.
to
Okay, new file.
you have-
Okay, I remember.
okay, yeah.
Yep.
Let me
I was
help
going
So
to
you.
I was going to
I
ask you
help
to go back
you.
to the last video.
so name it the same thing or just hold on.
This is the Python file. So you decide the name you want to name it.
Yeah, just put week.
This is the Python file itself. So call it any name. You can call it my first code or anything. Yeah, it must end
Oh
with
wait.
the. Oh, sorry. There shouldn't be, when you're naming your file, there shouldn't be
Uh-huh.
space.
Okay.
Yeah, there shouldn't be space. We'll talk about that in the next class.
Okay.
Just press enter, then it works, or you click out. Yeah.
So what is the co-pilot?
AI assistance. Did you get that?
Yes, yes. Control, is it control?
Control V to paste.
Okay.
Or if you're not used to the to shortcuts,
Mama,
you can find everything. You can find everything in file edits. You can go to the menu. See them there.
Chicken.
Yeah, so there's an error there. You can see the underlines.
Yes. Okay,
Mommy.
I got it now.
Mommy.
Thank you
So
so much.
Eat it.
yeah, right. So please, the first class we had, the one we had on Tuesday, you can go to Google Classroom and watch the video to practice everything we did there.
Yeah.
Mommy.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. You're welcome.
Thank you.